Hey everyone! We're going to be doing something that I've been waiting for since the spring of 2023 started. We are going to be going over the spring 2023 anime that I would recommend from this season. So I have 10 anime. We're going to go from 10 to 1. And then I also have a couple that slid through my cracks that I'll probably go back and watch. So anyways, let's get into the first anime. Also, spoiler warning before we go on, because there's going to be spoilers for this, because I've already watched them, and at this point, if you're still watching, you probably don't care about spoilers. So anyways, let's go on to the first one. So the first one is going to be Summoned to Another World for a Second Time. And of course, it's an isekai. I love isekais. And I mean, this one was kind of a weaker isekai for me. It follows the hero Setsu. And like the title of this, he is being brought into this world for a second time. So the first time he went into this world, he fell into a trap by one of his pals. Or pals turned enemy. And he got sent back to his world. Then, like the title says, he gets sent back to this world, and he meets up with his friends and pals and stuff like that, and he actually ends up going to fight the person that sent him back to his other world. So, I mean, this is kind of a weaker one. He's already really powerful when he gets back to the world, and it's just him meeting all his friends, and yeah, I mean, it's alright, I feel like, but it was definitely one of the lower ones. It was one I kind of thought about skipping and like dropping, but the girls did help out because there's a ton of girls. Like there's Leviathan, Leviah. There's the Demon Lord, Sereno. I forgot her name now. Then there's a couple other girls. There's a lot of girls in here. So I mean, if you just want an isekai that's kind of like fighting an adventure, but mostly just girls, I mean, this would probably be fine. It's one of the weaker ones. I mean, on my anime list, it's like a lower 5 score. So yeah. So that is my number 10 spot for this. So okay, let's move on to our number 9 spot. Alright, I might hear you guys groan again. Because number 9 is going to be another isekai. It is In Another World with My Smartphone 2, Season 2. If you haven't seen the first one, anyways, a guy gets summoned to this world with his smartphone, and it can do basically anything a smartphone can do. He can look up different like spells. He can also use basically any spell he wants. But he also has maps, he can track things, he can do all that stuff. Just anything a phone could do, he can do in this world. And basically, it's your run-of-the-mill harem. Because in the last season, he ended up getting, let me see, 1, 2, 3, 4 girls? Maybe 5? I can't remember. But anyways, this is him just continuing on with his harem. And he... I don't know. They actually bring mechs into this a little bit near the ending of this. And he's finding these places called Babylon. It's like a kind of a piece together kingdom kind of thing that floats around, a floating kingdom. And that's basically it. I mean, it's just like, oh, in an isekai world, I just want to live my life and be happy and also have a harem full of girls. And it's still one of the anime like isekai trash. So I mean, I enjoyed it and I watched the first season, so I had to see how it continued. But I think this was worse than the first season. I'll admit. But it has a higher score than the last one on our list. Yeah, I don't think there's anything else to say about this. Run-of-the-mill isekai. I love them. So anyways, number 9, In Another World with My Smartphone, Season 2. Ah, finally not an isekai. So this one, number 8 I have, is Tonikawa Over the Moon for You, Season 2. I think that's how it's pronounced. But Over the Moon for You, Season 2. And oh, it's just so wholesome. It's just so wholesome. I love it. Uh, so yeah, first season of this. If you guys don't know, haven't seen it, um, our main character, what does it say? NASA. Yes, NASA. Like the space program. Yes. Um, so whenever he was crossing the road or something like that. I forgot. Anyways, he ends up getting hit by a car, and a girl comes to his rescue. Her name is Sukasa. Sukasa? Yeah, Sukasa. There we go. And afterwards, she disappears, and then he ends up finding her again, and they just like straight up just end up getting married right after that. Like, literally, he's like, "I'm gonna marry you." And this anime is just their like married life, just them like being all awkward and trying to get along with each other and having a house. They also have a pet cat now and stuff like that. And it's just really sweet. But like there's like a I don't know, there's like a something hidden that hasn't been like really announced in it yet. And I think I know kind of what it is, but I haven't read the manga or anything like that, or light novels or whatever. So I will not talk on that because the anime has not said anything about it. But yeah, this is a nice, simple, like married life. What is this considered? Comedy romance, I guess? Yeah. So yeah, if you just want to see nice married life with two young adults, I guess, yeah. It's just really sweet, super wholesome, and you will not regret it. It's just nice. Now, I'll be honest, it does kind of get boring, and I mean, some of the stuff isn't really great, but I always came back, and I was always happy after I got done watching it. So yeah, that would be number 8. So yeah, number 8, Over the Moon for You, Season 2. Okay, still no isekai. We might be good. But anyways, this is going to be our number 7 spot. And it is Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. And this isn't like a series. I mean, it's just the movie. I mean, Black Clover's good too. But Sword of the Wizard King came out this season. And I just had to say something about it. Plus, I was needing an extra one to throw in my list because I think I only watched 9 anime ended up. So I threw this in here. So anyways, Black Clover, if you haven't watched it, is it's a shonen, and it follows Asta, our main character, and he is a person in this world that has no magic. In a world where everyone has magic, basically. So, having literally none. It's not like it's weak or not. But, he ends up getting Grimoire when he turns of age, kind of like everyone does. But his Grimoire is... It contains swords. And the swords are used to negate magic or nullify magic. So, yeah. So that's kind of a synopsis of Black Clover. And this one takes place This movie takes place directly right after the end of the last season, and yeah, should I say? Okay, so major spoiler alerts, okay? Because stuff that happens in the season is going to be talked about now, okay? I'm not just going to be talking about the movie. I'm going to be talking about the last season too. So, anyways, in this world there are wizard kings, and that's what Asta wants to be, but one of the Wizard Kings comes back. Like, he wasn't dead. He was just trapped. And he gets undone. Like, he gets out of his trap because he was trying to do some nefarious stuff. Or, yeah, well, we'll just say that. And he ends up bringing back to life 3 other Wizard Kings. So 4 Wizard Kings going about trying to take down the kingdom. And it just about that. I thought it was really good. I thought the animation was like spot on, and I think it really fits in well with the series. Yeah. So it's just them trying to take down 4 of the old Wizard Kings that were kind of bad guys, and it's like an hour and 53 minutes long, so about 2 hours. So if you just have 2 hours and you've already watched the rest of Black Clover, just go ahead and watch it. And you'll definitely probably have to watch it for the next season. It feels like there's some stuff in there that you'll probably need to know. So yeah, that will be number 7 on our list. Black Clover, Sword of the Wizard King. Okay, I don't know for sure if I'd consider this one an isekai or not, but it might be. It might be considered a reverse isekai, I guess. So anyways, number 6 on our list is going to be Otaku Elf. And as you can see, it's an elf. And this elf ends up getting, I guess, reverse isekai, or I guess it's isekai to our real world. And she's been here for, more than 400 years. So, like, 400 years ago, some people did a summoning ritual or something like that, and summoned an elf to this world. And she ends up becoming a shrine maiden for a shrine that's in Tokyo. And she's just, like, become like a kind of like a deity there. Like, she's just a shrine maiden there. And, yeah, her name's Elda. And, yeah, she served for 15 generations. So, like, a family's been, like, kind of taking care of her at the shrine for 15 generations. And it also follows a young girl of 16 age. What is her name? Koito? And she's the newest shrine maiden there. Like, she's the one that takes care of the elf. And it's just, I think it's funny. It's one of those things, kind of like whenever I was looking at this originally, I sat there and I'm like, this is kind of like Uncle from Another World. And as in, like, she's kind of like video gamey and stuff like that and doesn't want to get out. And it's... And I think I got that pretty spot on. Because she sits around and she just plays video games, eats treats. She just orders stuff off Amazon. And she does not want to go outside. She's, like, scared to go outside. But she still does do her shrine duties. But she's very lazy. And there's so many just little quirks because they'll be talking about stuff. And she'll be like, oh, that's kind of like this thing that happened during this period in Japan or something like that. And it's just like, it's kind of like a history lesson. And I don't know for sure if it's correct. I'm guessing it is. But I just kind of took it as yes. She also, like, one of the, like, story arcs for her is she likes these little toys that are like frog tanks. And she's trying to get the frog tanks. And, that's kind of cute. But yeah, if you just want to see what would happen if an elf got isekai'd to our world, this is kind of, well, a certain elf. Not all elves, but... And she can still use magic. But what you're thinking is, oh, if there's one elf here, are there any more? And that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. There's more than one. There are 3 elves, I think. I think there's 3 elves that got summoned to this world. And as far as I know, just in Japan, and they all became shrine maidens or shrine goddesses or whatever. And they all have their different personalities. One's kind of bratty, one's a big gambler, and then our one here is just a lazy shut-in. As you can see from me, like, trying to explain it and stuff like that, I thought it was really good. I thought it was very good. Has a score of 7.29 on my anime list. And I would highly recommend this. Like, this is starting to get to the point where I sit here, I'm like, it was starting to kind of get hard to choose. When we get to the top 3, it got really hard. So, anyways, that would be Otaku Elf, which takes our 6th place in our list. So, I'll see you in the next one. Number 5, guys. Number 5. And this, I would consider this one a reverse isekai. I would. Like, it seems like almost everything I watch is kind of an isekai. But anyways, this one is number 5, Dead Mount Death Play. Which, whenever I was doing my list, I thought this might be one I dropped because I didn't really know what to think about it. But it actually turned into one of my favorite ones this season. So, a little, like, refresher on this, because it's been a while since we read through the synopsis. But this follows someone called the Corpse God in, like, a fantasy world. and he's a powerful necromancer. But in the first episode, he ends up dying, or I guess he kind of dies. But he activates a spell right as he's dying to, I think it's reincarnate to another world, or reincarnate. Yes, I think that's how it is. But anyways, so whenever he dies, he gets transported, reincarnated to the real world, or kind of the real world. And he gets put into a body of someone that had just died, and he just takes over that body and kind of lives his life as much as you can. And he can still use his magic in this world, in our world. So, and he just, whenever you think of the name like a corpse god, you think of, especially necromancer, you think of like kind of a bad guy, but like he's just a good guy. He's just a good guy. He got a bad, he just got bad cards dealt in his life in the other world, and if this tells you anything, the person that killed his like body's okay, so the body he got put into died literally just like a few minutes before or something like that. The person that killed that body comes to try to kill him. This is gonna sound bad, but he kills her, but he brings her back as like a zombie or a ghoul, I can't remember. And then they end up becoming like pals and stuff like that. And he also takes the soul of the person that died from his like his body here, and puts it into like a little shark plushie. It's really sweet. And he just like, he can't talk, but he just like bounces around. Oh, but yeah. And through the series, he's just like, he can talk to the dead and stuff like that, and he like tries to make good with them and tries to help them out. And if it kind of reminds me of a Ghost Whisperer. It's not an anime, it's just like a regular series, like a TV series. But like, he's trying to help the ghosts out and stuff. It's really nice. And whenever near the ending of this, I guess getting ready for a second season, it gets to the point where he starts seeing things that he remembers from his past life, like symbols and people talking about stuff from his past life, and he doesn't know for sure how they're connected or anything like that. So this was a really good one. I liked it. I was very excited to every episode came out, and this was kind of hard for me to choose between this one and the next spot on our list because, yeah. It was really good. It was really good. I would recommend it. And, like, just watch the trailer or maybe watch some clips for it because I'm probably not explaining it in a very good way. But, yeah, just imagine someone getting isekai'd to our world and living... Oh, there's also, like, a mob, like, not mob, gang stuff, kind of. Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty good. It's like a action fantasy supernatural. I would like, it's really supernatural. So yeah, anyways, that would be our spot for number 5, Deathmount Deathplay. Ah, the farther I get up this list, the more I talk about each one, I swear. So this episode started out pretty slow, but now we're getting closer. So anyways, now we are number 4, and number 4 spot is Dr. Stone New World. And if you haven't watched the other seasons of Dr. Stone, this is, how do I explain it? So we follow Senku, who is a very, very, very science-oriented kid. Or maybe not kid, maybe teenager, I guess. Teenager. And he's like super uber smart. He can like do basically anything as long as you give him enough time and the ability to do it. Like, this is going to be spoilers for the first couple seasons. So, he makes a telephone or a radio. He also makes, like, glasses and what else does he make? I don't know. He makes, like, all this other stuff. But, you might be thinking, oh, okay, so it's just a science anime. Which, yeah, it's not wrong. But there's one thing that happens in the series that kind of puts it apart from all the rest. So, during the first episode, it should be, I think. It's been a little while since I watched it. But a green light, like, shines across the whole entire Earth. and it petrifies everyone, all of humanity, all animals, everything like that. And they are like stone. They get turned to stone. And while they're in the stone, years and years and years and years and go by. I forgot the exact amount of time. But during that time, everything is falling apart. Like all buildings are gone and stuff like that, and nothing's there from like what we remember from humanity. But also like I guess not really continents have moved, but like landscape has changed and stuff like that. But then, out of like, it's almost sheer luck, okay? Senku, our main character, breaks out of his stone prison. He gets unpetrified. And he quickly goes to work and tries to figure out what happened and how to get other people out. Because as he's walking around, he sees all these stone statues and stuff like that. And a few of the people that he gets out first are a couple of his friends from school that he ends up finding, which I don't know how you can find them, like, just walking around. Like, I guess they're in the same area, but years and years have gone by. I don't see how he found them. Just luck, I guess. But yeah, that is, like, how the series starts. And this just continues on because he has got enough people out of stone now, and there's, like, a village that they have now started exploring more. And this one, Dr. Stone New World, is going to be like a ship kind of thing, where they're going to be sailing around and exploring. And maybe finding what happened with the green light. That's probably as much I want to say about it, because if that didn't like pull you in, then you probably just won't like it. But like, he just like has a roadmap, or basically, of how to make different stuff. And it just like breaks it down into the smallest details of how you can make random stuff. And it's just really cool for me. I'm a very, very science-oriented person. So this is just interesting for me to figure out how to make random stuff. So anyways, that would be our number 4 spot, Dr. Stone, A New World. Now we're getting into top 3, guys. Come on. And this one hit me a lot harder than I thought it was going to. Whenever I went through our first time looking through these, this might have been like one of my lower ones I wasn't for sure about, but ended up being amazing. I loved it. So anyways, number 3, The Dangers in My Heart. So it follows our main character, Ichikawa. Yeah, that's the name. And he is kind of a loner. He really likes murder. He reads books that are very, very murder-oriented. And in the very beginning, he talks about his desire to kill this girl. Or he talks about it, but he doesn't really do anything. He's just like, oh, just thinking about it. He thinks about murder. It's kind of weird. And I didn't think I was going to be that into it. But that quickly turns around after he starts talking to Yamada. And she is one of our main characters also. Him and Yamada actually get talking, and they spend a ton of time together. Like, they're kind of crushing on each other. It's very, very cute. So this is just this is a romance, a comedy romance, and it's school life kind of thing. And it's just these two just doing like random stuff. Like Yamada, she is very like snack oriented. She likes eating food and candy and stuff like that. Whereas Ichikawa is just kind of like sits down, reads, stays to himself. And they meet up in the library, and they like Yamada kind of breaks Ichikawa's shell, and he kind of opens up to her. And this is just him noticing that he likes her. And I'm pretty sure she likes him too. I would say 100% she does. But she hasn't like directly said it. And it's very sweet compared to what I thought it was going to be. And it has a 8.29 score on my anime list. It was very, very good. I had to put this at number 3. I had to put it over even Dr. Stone, because Dr. Stone I really enjoy and I really get into, but this one was just better. It really was. I don't really know if there's much else to say about it. Watch a trailer and stuff like that. I'd highly recommend this one, highly. So let's move on to number 2, guys. Ah, yes, number 2. And this one I can gladly say is not an isekai. Whereas the prequel to this, or I guess this is technically considered a prequel. So the sequel to this is an isekai, and that might give you might give you a little hint at what it is. But number 2 for me is Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world. Now, you might say Konosuba is an isekai, and I would agree with you. Okay, Konosuba, a blessing on this world, is an isekai because it's based. The main character is Kazuma. This one is Megumin, so it is not an isekai. This is a prequel to our Konosuba blessing on this world. And this follows Megumin and her village, the Crimson Demon Village. And if you did not watch the Konosuba movie, the Crimson Demons are kind of like crazy. They're like super powerful with magic, but they also Chinchubi? I forgot how to pronounce it. Oh well. They have very, very cringy names, and they also talk very cringy, and it's hilarious, and I love it. But anyways, follows Megumin in her Crimson Demon village. She's in school in the very beginning of it, and this is her life up to. I didn't know how like poor Megumin was. Like I know the movie, it kind of made it out to be, but quite literally, they were very poor. I felt bad for her. But she took very good care of her little sister in this. And it's just her kind of devoting her life to explosion magic. We get to figure out why she wants to use explosion magic. We get to see her get explosion magic. We get to see other people in the Crimson Demon Village, and we get to see more of Yunyun, which I'd be Yunyun's friend 100%. Also, after she leaves the village, it shows when she goes to... I forget the name of the village. Or not the town. It's the one where the Axis cult is. And she gets to mess around with the Axis cult. And she helps them out with their shenanigans, trying to get people to sign up. And then also it gets to Axel. Is that the main village that Konosuba starts in? That sounds familiar. And like it leads up directly to the moment she meets Kazuma and stuff, because like the whole like last couple episodes we can see Kazuma and Aqua walking around the village, but they don't interact with Megumin. But like the very, very last bit of this series is right at the beginning where Megumin meets them at the guild hall bar thing. So, really good. If you liked Konosuba, watch this. This is hilarious. I loved seeing Megumin go around, which she is one of my favorite characters in the series. So that's probably why I liked it so much. This deserves the second slot for me. Days in My Heart was higher ranked on my anime list, but yeah. So anyways, that would be number 2, Konosuba, an explosion on this wonderful world. Ah yes, we finally got to number 1, and the video is already starting to get longer than I thought. I was not expecting us to get this long, but I just got to talking. So anyways, number 1, and if this whole time you're sitting here, it's like, but, Unwise Dragon, you haven't mentioned the best anime that's happened this season that is an original this season. And I'd be like, ah yes, I have not forgotten it. It is the one that I was so surprised about and seemed so interesting the last time. And it is number 1, Oshi no Ko. Oshi no Ko is one of these that sounded so weird that it was going to be great. And it was fantastic. The first episode was jaw-dropping. It was unbelievable. It was like an hour and something long. It was great. So, if you haven't read anything about it or haven't watched anything, Oshi no Ko is... It follows an idol. The idol being AI. And she's just a normal idol, but she's also very, 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 very popular. And she's not the main character. She's kind of the main character for the first half. But what we're really following is her gynecologist. And as weird as that sounds, it is very weird. But I ends up getting pregnant. And to keep it quiet, she goes to some countryside, and her gynecologist keeps looking after her. And before she has a baby, she goes into labor. Her gynecologist gets attacked and ends up dying. And because anime and its fashion, he ends up getting reincarnated as one of her children. And yeah, so the first episode takes place, and it's kind of from baby to like small toddler, because they kind of like have a little bits of age gaps where he grows up a little bit, but they still stay pretty young in the first episode. And when I say one of her children, they're actually twins. So his new name is Aqua, and his twin sister, is named Ruby. Yes, wonderful names for an idol to make her children. I feel bad for Aqua having that name. Ruby's not bad, but Aqua is kind of eh. So they get reincarnated, and I'll only explain what happens in the first. Well, actually, no, I don't want to explain what happens in the first episode. That's really like plot spoilers. So, anyways, he can remember everything that happened. And also, it turns out that Ruby is also a reincarnation. Like, she also got reincarnated as Ai's child. And they kind of know that whenever they're younger. And it just kind of follows Ai, the idol, going around with her. Like, she keeps her kids secret. But it's just kind of kids of an idol. That's kind of what it follows. It follows the children of an idol. And it's very great. It's amazing. I was not really for sure if I was going to like it when I first started. Well, actually, no. Before I started watching, I wasn't for sure if I would like it. It sounded very weird. But after I watched that first episode, it pulled me in. I was like, whenever an episode came out, it came out every Wednesday, I was there to watch it. Like, right when it came out, I was watching it. It was great. And if you're not into idols, it kind of has a lot to do with idols, but like it's not really super idol-y. And it's just amazing. If you watch the first episode, or if you watch the teaser maybe, I think it'll pull you in. And I will not say very much more because it goes very much into spoiler territory, because something big happens near the end of the first episode. And it changes how our characters act and everything like that. It's an 8.8 on my anime list. That is lower than it should be. It should be higher. Yeah. Oh, also, I have a couple anime that I kind of missed that I want to talk about. So, number one was Oshinoko, and now we're going to go to our honorable mentions. So, one of the honorable mentions that I saw through memes is called Heavenly Delusions. I have seen memes of it. I don't really know exactly what happens, but I've seen a lot of memes on it, and it is an 8.23 on my anime list. That's like pretty high, I would consider. I've seen some jokes between, I think, one of the characters' body is a girl, but I think her mind is a guy's, I think I heard from one of the memes. I don't know for sure. But it has piqued my interest enough that I will be watching that now and catching up on it. And it says 15 years ago, a disaster struck human civilization. Man-eating monsters roam the land. I don't really know how that interacts with it, but it piqued my interest enough from the memes that I'm probably going to be watching it. Then there's one more that I don't know how I missed this one, because I watched the first the season of this, and then I watched the first movie. But there is another movie for Rascal Does Not Dream of a Sister Venturing Out. It's kind of a sequel to Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai, if you saw the Bunny Girl Senpai anime. And this one is based around his sister wanting to finally get out into the world, which I loved Bunny Girl Senpai. It was wonderful. And the movie was really great too. So if you haven't watched it, it follows a guy that he is like going through a library, I think it was, and he sees a girl in a bunny girl suit. and she is invisible to everyone but him. And it's something to do with adolescent syndrome. It's also, I think they call it puberty syndrome, where young kids or young adults, kind of like when they go through puberty, kind of have supernatural things happen around them. And she just happened to turn invisible to everyone else. There's other people that have supernatural things happen to them with the same idea, but that's an idea. So this one is following his sister, which I need to watch it. It's out now. So after I find somewhere to watch it. But it is very, but Rascal Does Not Dream of Bunny Girl Senpai is very good. So this is probably going to be great. Yeah. So that is all I had to, like, say about all the anime. I did not watch as many. There's quite a few that I ended up dropping because I just couldn't. I didn't have the time, and then also I either didn't like them as much when I started watching them. But yeah, I think that was enough right there. So I think all the ones on my list there, maybe the top 5, 6, maybe. I would say the top 6 or actually 8. I don't know. Most of them I would say are like great, but some of the isekai ones, if you don't like isekai, you might think they're trash, which understandable. It's not for everyone. Yeah, I think I've rambled on enough. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching, and that is my top 10 anime for spring 2023. And I'll see you guys whenever we have our ranking for, I guess, summer 2023. So, bye everyone. Bye.